never let your emotions overpower your intelligence. That was one of the messages I received from a buddy of mine, which made so much sense, and it just hit at the right time. And I think it's really important now because you see a lot of people running on emotion to the point where they're emotionally drained. And they're full of fear, and that fear overtakes their ability to question. There's not always great questions asked because they're not thinking. A lot of this thing is, if I can fill you with enough fear and enough emotional components, logic goes out the window, which it does. Because emotionally, that thing, people make decisions off emotions. And then later on, they justify those thoughts logically based on, how they felt, or they try to justify them logically. But emotionally, they make decisions. And so I'm saying it takes a certain practice, it takes time for you to get through the emotion and go straight and get to the logic. And a lot of the easiest way to get to the logic from the emotion is to question. It's to ask the questions of what if. It's to ask the questions of what's the other, the other options. What's the questions of how will that play out later? Then do I need this right now? Are there other options? There's a ton of different questions you can ask to get out of the emotional state. So whenever something is presented to you in the emotional state, you can, like if you're watching the news, for example, that's a lot of emotion that's coming at you. And the questions could be, well, what's the other side of that? Is that in context? Are we missing something? Is that all there is to the story? Is there a little bit more there? What prompted that to happen? What changed about this particular reporting style? Are we reporting, are we reporting specific things? Are we reporting, let's just say we're reporting hospitalizations and how hospitals are full. Okay, but are we talking about how hospitals are understaffed and how full, hospitals being full means they're at capacity for the staff that they have? Or is it that every bed in the hospital is just full and overrun? Are we asking those types of questions? So you have to be, I think it's important to be critical in terms of all the things that come into play. You're giving one piece of information, but ask think about it. Is it something that I'm missing on the other side of that information that I should be asking about? Is there something that this is out of context? Is there something that is allowing this to be more of a soundbite and buzzwords and all the other stuff? Or is it something that I should take a look at the entire piece before I make a decision on? So a lot of things are meant to get an emotional stimulation from you, emotionally get you to make a decision. But I'm asking for you to ask the questions, to think through the thing, to get to the logical component of it. It's Dr. J. Ware.